Hey, what's going on, everybody? My name is James, and today I want to talk about a new project that I'm about to begin. If you've read the title of this video, you probably already know what exactly I'm trying to do, and that is I'm trying to build an electric vehicle, and more, I guess, specifically convert a car to become an electric vehicle. You might be wondering, why am I trying to do this? And what it comes down to is I've always had an affinity for electric cars, and I've always loved stuff like the Tesla products, but every time I talk about them, it always ends in the same basic sentence of love the cars, love the technology. There's no way I could ever afford them at 19 years old, so I'll have to wait until I'm like 30 to eventually get one. So it's just kind of always a bummer. And again, I was talking about the Model 3 with my girlfriend, and she just kind of looked over at me after I said that and was like, well, I know you better than really anybody else, and I know what you're capable of, and I think you could realistically build your own. And at first I kind of scoffed her off and was like, there's no way. Electric vehicles are so much more complicated. And after watching stuff like the Rich Rebuilds channel and him rebuilding Teslas, seeing all of the components and technology in those cars, I figured there's no way I could ever do that. But on the way home, it got me thinking, and I realized that it's not that difficult. There's only a few main components, the three being batteries, controller, and motor. Now, there's a bunch of other smaller things you need to take care of, but those are the three main things that you need to get the car moving. And after doing research and watching videos, I found out that this is something that I could realistically do in my own garage. So I decided to at least give it a shot, because if not, I can always sell these parts and probably get my money back, if not more, maybe make a few bucks. So there's really no losing in this situation. I did my research and I found a car, and I want to show that to you guys today. So let's take a walk outside and see what I got. So here it is. This is my 2002 BMW 325 Xi, and I got this car for 500 bucks. And there's a long story as to how I actually ended up with this car, and you can find that linked down below at my website, electricbeamer.com. I'll have the full story with the roller coaster of a ride it was getting a hold of this car. But to kind of sum it up, this car came with $500 worth of parts, and I paid 500 bucks for the car. So I basically got $500 worth of parts and a free BMW included. It was just a great deal that I couldn't pass up. So obviously, if it came with a bunch of parts, it needed some work, and that's fine because my father is a mechanic of 35 years, and we've been a very, very car-oriented family. As you can tell, he has a 1970 Buick GSX here. If you know anything about those cars, it's a little bit of a hidden gem, I'll say. So I've got, a little bit of a mechanical skill set to myself as well, and so I figured I could tackle this in my garage, and so far I've had some pretty decent success. I've got the full front passenger side finally done here. I'm just waiting on the rim to come back because it had a small crack that I'm getting redone, but I replaced the front drive shaft, the front control arm, I replaced some seals and put in a sway bar link and redid the brakes. So now I'm just waiting again on that rim, and I can finally put this thing back on the ground and get it out. Need some other trim stuff, but that's very minor. But why did I choose this car? It comes down to a few different things. First, mechanically, I feel like BMWs are built to take a decent amount of power. And while this car didn't put out much, about 185 horsepower, I think it'll take a lot more than that. And I know I won't reach that with the electric motor that I'm getting. So I'm not too concerned about sharing anything or anything like that. The big advantage, though, is that this car came new with an inline 6-cylinder motor. The reason that that's significant is that the inline 6-cylinder is a very long engine. The problem that some people run into when they convert cars like this, if it has like a V6, is that the V6 is very compact, and everything else is built up around that. So if you try to put in a long electric motor, like most of them are, you're going to run into issues that you're going to have to start cutting and really retrofitting stuff to make it work. So this kind of removes all of that concern for me because I know I'll have enough space for that motor. Now, this is also a manual standard car, and that's important because an automatic transmission in an electric vehicle doesn't really work too well. An automatic transmission is meant to keep a combustion motor as slow revving as possible so you can save fuel. But electric motors run better at higher RPMs, they're more efficient. So this would kind of combat the efficiency of an electric motor, and it would just kind of defeat the whole purpose of this conversion. So the manual transmission allows me to really dial in the drive style and drive mode that I want. So for example, if I want to drive around, say at 30 miles an hour, I can shift in a second and leave it there. If I want to go up to maybe 50, put it in third. And if I want to go on the highway, I can put it in fifth. And actually, interestingly, the fifth gear is a direct drive gear, meaning that it is as if the electric motor was connected directly to the rear axle. So that's kind of a big plus. I can kind of really tune how I want this car to work. It is also all-wheel drive, which I know is added weight, but I think it'll help a little bit because it helps distribute the power to all four wheels. So it's not just pushing the car, it's a little bit more efficient in pushing and pulling the car. And I think that's going to help with range and stuff overall. So we'll see how that actually turns out. And I mean, it does have 202,000 miles, so I know that this car really didn't have much life left in terms of the gas engine. So I think this is going to be a cool conversion to give this car a much longer life later on down the road. So I think this is the best thing I could have gotten for my money. I love the styling, I love the color, and I think it's a perfect fit for this conversion. So again, I can't really give you the full list of all of the parts that I'm going to be using in this car yet because it's still kind of up in the air. I'm working with a company out of Massachusetts, and they're gonna give me some free items that have been remanufactured and give me some discounts on other like open box items. So hopefully I can get a lot of the components for this car discounted or even just donated. If that's the case, I think this will be a pretty reasonable project, and I'm really looking forward to starting the conversion process on this car. So once I get these mechanical things buttoned up, it'll be kind of full bore on the conversion process. Now, I am a college student, and I will be going up to college, which is about 5 hours away here at the end of August, but thankfully, I've kind of got an open schedule, so I've open Mondays and Fridays. So I'm hoping to come down every few weekends and kind of do a 4-day weekend and work on this car and hopefully try to have it done by the end of the year. I think this is actually, again, very feasible. And since my father is a mechanic, I think the elements of like pulling the engine and all that kind of stuff should be pretty easy with his help. So again, I think this project is going to be much more manageable than I'd first thought. I'm looking forward to getting started on it, and I hope you guys are interested in the journey. Definitely follow my website. It's probably going to be where more of my updates are going to be coming out. These videos will be more about the large components that I'm working on. So those will kind of keep you updated on the small things. So that's going to be it for me today. I hope you guys are as excited about this project as I am. I'm really looking forward to get started on it and seeing what this car can really become. I can't wait to give this car a whole other life that I never really expected to have. So again, I'll catch you guys in the next one. Hope you guys enjoyed. Definitely subscribe. Talk to you guys later. Peace.